Hi everyone, it's Claire back again. I thought we'd do a relaxed, just a kind of chit chat really. So I'm here with my coffee. This was a mug that Amanda sent me, the Nail Polish Hound. It's my favourite mug. So I've got my coffee in here. If you're wondering what's on my nails, it looks like a kind of bluey grey metallic, but then boom, look. It's a prototype duochrome, multi-chrome that I'm testing for Ard As Nails at the moment, so I can't even really tell you. I don't know what it's called. So yeah, I'm just doing some tests at the moment for a surprise that's coming in the next few weeks. So I did ask about a Q&A, whether or not I needed to do a Q&A. I have asked this before, like last year, and I got one question, I think, but to do like a full video. So I left a post on Instagram, and loads of people have left questions on Instagram. And I have got quite a few new subscribers recently, so hello, welcome. So there's two reasons really for this. One, for you to get to know me a little bit better, and two is I've been going for job interviews recently, and I was talking to Catherine, Mrs. Cronall, when we do our weekly Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire reread. You should go and check out Catherine's channel for that if you want to follow us doing the reread. And I said to her, I'm really rubbish at interviews. I don't seem to be able to stick to a question properly. And she said, you should do a Q&A on your channel just to kind of give you a bit of exercise and practice. So this is the reason for doing this as well. So it's a two dual purpose. Okay, so I've got the questions in front of me. Let's get into it and make a start. So the first question is, well, several questions actually, from Nails Stalker. In fact, before I get to Nails Stalker, quite a few people have asked the same question about Marwan. Where is he at the moment? Let me go and get him. So here he is. Hello, Bobo. I gave him a home haircut recently. What do you think? I've saved myself about £30 from going to the groomers. It's still a little bit patchy, but hello. So how is he? Well, he was doing really great with his recovery and his physio, and everything was going great. And then about 3 weeks ago, he got a really bad gastroenteritis, a stomach flu, which kind of knocked him off his feet, to be honest. And he was really poorly. He had a really high temperature. He had to stay in the vets for a couple of nights. He's fine now, but it really weakened his back and his back legs. So we're kind of going back a couple of months in his physio, but he's fine. We're getting there, and we're just building his strength up again so that he can balance properly. He just gets tired. When I take him for a walk, he gets tired quite easily. Which is annoying for him because he's a young dog and he wants to run around, but his back legs just won't let him do that. But apart from that, he's fine, he's doing okay. The physio said that there's scope for improvement over the next 12 months, so fingers crossed he's going to be able to run up those stairs within the next 12 months. That's the hope anyway. So back to the first original question. Nail Stalker, how tall are you? I'm 5'6". Where were you born? I was born in Salford in Manchester in the north of the UK. What's your ascendant? I'm not quite sure what that is. Is that like a star sign question? I'm a Virgo, but I don't know where the moon and the sun and all that kind of thing is. I just know that I'm a Virgo. Favourite movie? I think Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. I'd say those two. If it comes to the way I look at favourite movie, is it's a film that you can watch any time over and over and over again and you never get bored with it. And I think because I like that kind of zombie genre and comedy, I think Hot Fuzz is probably, no, Shaun of the Dead is probably my favourite, very quickly followed by Hot Fuzz. Favourite actor and favourite actress? I don't know really. I don't really have a favourite actor and a favourite actress. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I probably have, but I can't give you an immediate answer. What do you think? Who will be on the throne, if any, at the end of Game of Thrones? So I think in the TV show, probably the offspring of Daenerys and Jon will be on the throne. They'll be kind of like, we'll see in the future. I think that's probably going to be more likely the TV ending. In the books, I don't think there will be a throne, an Iron Throne at the end of it. I think it will be a completely different system of power. So yeah, so there you go, Nail Stalker. That's a long answer to several questions. Lisa Kovac 76, when are you coming to visit me in Australia? I would love to go to Australia, and that's another question actually. Another question of one of the things on my bucket list. Namixil, what is one item on your bucket list to go to Australia? My niece, actually my sister's daughter, is in Australia at the moment. She's in Melbourne, but she's doing her 2 or 3 months farm work that she has to do to stay there. And she absolutely loves it. And I know my sister is saving up and planning to go over and visit her. So I might try and see if I can tag along. I would love to, but yeah. I would love to be able to just kind of twitch my nose like Bewitched and magically appear in Australia and to go out nail polish shopping with Lisa. Lisa's got some fabulous nails on Instagram. She's got this I don't know what it's, a camera or the top coat that she uses, but they're just like really, really shiny nails in motion that she does. So that's Lisa. Hi Lisa, if you're watching. Heather asked how Marwan was. I've answered that question. And Queen La 1974 asked about Marwan. George's nails, and congratulations to George, has just had a beautiful baby boy, Felix. So a mum again for the second time. So George asked me, what made you start a YouTube channel? What made you start a YouTube channel, and what is the best way of getting your channel out there? Really, it was just I was looking for a hobby. I'm obsessed with nail polish. I watch other nail polish YouTube channels all the time. And I just thought, I want to do this. I want to talk about nail polish, and I just thought it was a fun hobby for me to. It was kind of natural extension of my already existing nail polish collection. So yeah, there wasn't really a particular spark. I just thought this would be a good hobby to have. And what's the best way of getting your channel out there? I don't really promote my channel very well. I know there's a way when you publish, George, you can share to Facebook and Google Plus and things like that at the same, as you're publishing the video. And I think I link mine to my Google Plus account. But I would say just link all your social media platforms together. So if you've got a YouTube channel, let people know about your Instagram account, just so that people know where to find you on different platforms. And I think that's a good way of promoting your channel. Yeah, beyond that, I mean, if anyone's got any suggestions, collaborations as well are a good way for people to know. And we do loads of collaborations, so I think a lot of people know who we've got in our group. But that was from George, and again, congratulations, George. My real nails, if you could only, this is a brutal question, if you could only wear one polish for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a really hard question. I think it would have to be a green, but it would have to be a kind of fairly neutral green so that it didn't annoy me too much. So I would say probably MILF from Illamasqua, which is a nice calming neutral green. And my real nails asked, what is your favourite indie brand and what's your favourite mainstream brand? I would say at the moment, and it changes, and I kind of come across different indie brands all the time, but I'm completely in love with this brand, and I really want to sort of try and help them to succeed, and for everyone to know. It's one of those things where it's like I've discovered something amazing and now I want everybody else to know about it. Is Ard As Nails, the UK indie brand, and I've talked so much about Ard As Nails on my channel. My favourite mainstream brand, I think I would have to say China Glaze. So that was my real nails. Amanda, the nail polish hound, if you had your own indie nail polish brand, what would you call it? And yeah, that is a tough question. I don't know. Again, it's another thing that I'd have to think about. I can't really give you an instant. It's not something that I've already thought about. See, in the UK, we call nail polish varnish, so I might kind of try and reclaim that again, like Vixen varnish or something like that. But I also like the idea of, I remember asking somebody in Selfridges once at the Illamasqua counter, where does the Illamasqua name come from? What does it mean? And he said to me, oh, it's just a made-up word that sounded good, and I just laughed and thought that sounded hilarious. So I might come up with a kind of made-up word that means just something complete that nobody else has ever used. So yeah, I'd have to have a think about that one, Amanda. Nail RSH asks, what's the first nail polish you owned and do you still have it? I think it was probably a Revlon. I think it was a dark navy blue Revlon, but I can't remember which one it was, and I don't think I've still got it. Nixie Collado asks, what are your favourite sweet and savoury snacks? Sweet, any cake, anything cake, cream cake, sponge cakes, I just love cake. And savoury snacks, just kind of like a snack rather than a meal. I love nuts, so I'd say cashew nuts, salted cashew nuts. Margaret Yoder is asking how Bubble Off is doing. Bubble Off is doing really well. Emily's moved out of the shop now. It was just too many overheads, too expensive. So she's back in the workshop and she's doing a lot more online and continuing to do the craft markets. But she's doing a lot more online, so she's got more wholesale. She's supplying different gift shops and things like that. I'll put across the bottom where you can find Bubble Off. And the subscription boxes are going really well as well, which is great because that was something that I helped her to start last year. And Margaret also asked, what career are you searching for a job in at the moment? Anything. My background is in housing and homelessness and working with vulnerable people, and particularly in involvement and consultation, so giving people a voice to talk about what services they want and how improvements can be made. So generally anything in kind of health, social care, housing, that's that kind of strategy policy level. But I'm also continuing to do some freelance work at the moment, some freelance consultancy and training, which I've done for about 15 years. But I'm just looking for something that's kind of a bit more settled and less erratic and more stable. So hopefully that answers your question, Margaret. Purple Wolf Nails, so this is Louise. Do you have a maximum number of polishes that you don't want to go over? Yeah, funnily enough, I think I do. I've got, I think, before I did my destash last year, I had roughly about 800 polishes. And when I did my destash, I destashed about 200 of those, and now I've got quite a lot more polishes that have replaced them, and I've had loads of nail mail. So I would say I'm probably up to about the 800-900 again. And what I would like to do is I want to do a big destash this year, so that I can still continue to buy nail polishes when I want to buy nail polishes. But I think for me, I don't want to go over that. In my mind, the number 1,000 is just like, no, that's a problem. That's like too much, as if 800 isn't enough. But I think that's a number in my mind that is a maximum that I don't want to go over without destashing what. Sorry, I just completely stopped and I had to start again. So where was I? What was I? I was saying that I think the number 1,000 is just like too much for me in my mind. So that's a very long answer. This is why I struggle in interviews. How do you feel about your collection since your destash? I think the short answer to that is I feel as though I need to do more destashing to try and keep the collection to a manageable amount. Are you and any of your YouTube friends planning on meeting up in real life? I would love to meet my YouTube friends in real life. I'd love to go over to New York and spend some time with Jen. I would love to go and spend some time with Lisa Hendy and with Debbie, Sister Chic, and help her in some of her ventures that she's doing. Yeah, I'd love to go and see Amanda, the nail polish hound, and there's, you know, the UK is quite small, so there's every chance that we can kind of run into each other. And where did my Instagram name come from? No idea. My Instagram name is Nail Swatch Tower UK. The UK was, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was from the UK for some reason, and nail had to have nail in the title, and Swatch Tower just because I thought it was a funny play on Watchtower with swatching nails. So those are the questions from Louise. HRM Princess J says, what's your favourite UK indie brands? And I haven't tried all UK indie brands, and there are some like Prism that I'd like to try. And some European brands as well that I'd like to try. The ones that I have tried I've really liked, and of the ones that I've tried, the Pretty Perfect Polish Me Royalty, and at the moment my current obsession, Ard As Nails. The next question is from Linda Kapaski. Do you watch Coronation Street? No, I used to when I was a lot younger. I tend to just watch Netflix these days, or like box sets. The last show that I just finished watching was Star Trek Discovery on Netflix. Do I have any travel plans coming up? No, not really. I might try and go and visit my mum in Ireland at some point this year. If price was no object, where in the world would you want to live? I am terrible with languages, so I would say somewhere that was English speaking, so probably Canada, actually. I would like to live in Canada if I wasn't in the UK. I think, yeah. And Ilse nailed it. And the wannabe nail blogger, she said, have you always lived in the UK? Yes, I have always lived in the UK. I've lived in lots of different areas in the UK. I lived in London for about 4 or 5 years, which is where I met my husband. I've lived up in the northeast. I've lived away in Liverpool when I was at university. So I've lived in different areas. I've lived in Chester. I've lived in Surrey, in Basingstoke, and yeah, I've got family in various different areas of the UK as well. Next question from Julie in Quebec. What's your favourite meal and wine? I would say my favourite wine is a white wine. I like a dry white wine, so probably a nice Pinot Grigio. And my favourite meal, I would say at the moment, the meals that I cook, I do a really nice butternut squash risotto with Stilton that I really like. It's like comfort food. And another meal that I'm really enjoying that I make is like a salmon and dill pasta with creme fraiche made with like butter and garlic. It's delicious. Yeah, so that's what I would say, Julie. My own food. Next question from Linda again, Linda Kapaski, 2889. If all your polish tragically disappeared, which ones would you run out and replace immediately? I think I would go out and get a neutral polish and maybe a green polish, just 2 polishes, and then what I would do is I wouldn't run out and replace my entire collection immediately. I would sit down and do a considered list of what I really wanted, and I'd probably research it. That's a real Virgo thing to do, but I would probably sit down and plan what I wanted to replace. Jan Ray 29 asks, I hear so much on the nail channels about postage restrictions for the US and UK. Can you clarify who can send what, please? And I replied to this saying to check out on my channel playlist the Code Rainbow playlist, and you'll be able to find out Everything in detail is explained there about what's happening with male restrictions. And Anno asks, have you ever regretted a polish that you decluttered? I haven't, but there was one that didn't manage to, I decluttered it, and then I remember, there's probably a couple, but one that sticks in my mind that snuck back into my collection. It was a Barry M, and it was like a very pale blue, like a bright blue. I can't remember the name of it, but that one ended up sneaking back into my collection. But I've not really regretted anything that I've thought, oh no, I wish I'd still had that. No. And I think the final question is from Rularia313. What one mainstream and one indie brand would you want to try the most? Mainstream brand, I think there's probably still a couple of US brands. I've tried most of them. I've tried Simple Colours, Pure Ice. I would like to try Funky Fingers, just because I think the bottle shape is really cute, and I've never seen any here in the UK. So if I took a trip over to the US, I would probably pick up some mainstream drugstore brands over in the US. And one indie brand I would want to try the most is Bee's Knees. I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be picking up some Bee's Knees soon through Rainbow Connection. I just keep drooling and lusting over them. Like House on Haunted Chill, I think it's called, just amazing. Yeah, so Bee's Knees, and I think that's it. That's probably a really long Q&A. There were quite a few questions there. I hope I haven't missed anybody out. Let me know what you think, if you want me to do sort of regular Q&As, if you like these face-to-face videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!